Welcome. My name is Doug Simcox, and this is Beyond the Chutes. We usually talk about rodeo history, and sometimes we talk about rodeo history in the making, as in the PBR World Championship that is going on in Fort Worth, Texas. Today is Saturday, May 20th, 11:30 in the morning. I tell you the date and time to let you know that we are recording this podcast prior to this evening's sixth round. Joining me today is my co-host Sam Swearingen, the father of Dalen, the reigning 2022 PBR World Champion, and Colton, a PRCA steer wrestler. Today we will discuss last night's round 5. We will review Sam's prediction and ask him to make some more predictions. Sam, are you there? How are you?
I am here, Doug, and never better. Thank you.
Well, great to hear you today. And when I say great to hear you, those AirPods you're using, what a difference. Did a little editing last night, and man, some of the background noise, some of the clicks that happen, I think when you're sitting in your Ford F-350, not to mention when you turn the key off and all the whistles and alarms go off on your truck. So just a much better. And they're comfortable, and you can hear me.
I hear you fine, and yeah, they're comfortable.
All
Yep.
right. Well, I want to make sure they're comfortable because you got a lot of business to do today. So, you
We're
know what?
good.
Okay, we're good. You know, Sam, we've been setting up this podcast, and at the very beginning, we worked on audio equipment. We said keep it simple, no video at this time. Bob Arnold, good friend of mine, helped me get the right equipment. We got up on Spotify. Now, Sam, time to add some class to the show. We need some class.
Well, as you know, I have a face for radio, so
Oh,
this is good, no video.
you know, we need a logo, and my friend Tyler Gansey is working on that. He's working on one for the show. Of course, it's going to have the brand, the logo, because you got to have a brand. And you know, one other thing is the music is part of the brand. You know, think of some of your favorite jingles that just are always stuck in your head, like the Nationwide jingle. Nationwide is on your side. You know that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
My
right.
favorite, the Oscar Mayer hot dog song. Do you know that one? Do
Yeah.
you, now, is that not, that's one of my favorite ones.
Well, that's pretty good. I don't know if there's a inside joke there about I'm full of baloney and with my
Yeah.
predictions, but
No, 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 no.
uh,
This is one of my favorite one. I think this is like from the mid 60s, late. No, the one we just listened to is from 1973. Now, just so you know, I'm probably going to get in trouble for it. There's these things called royalties, and
uh-huh.
that's why you can't go do what I just did. So
Yeah.
I've
What
got
is
to,
that?
I've got,
ASCAP or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is you want to stay out of that business if you can help it. Meaning, you don't want to play stuff and not report the royalties properly and everything. So we have commissioned you and I, Sam. We have commissioned Cutting Room Music. They're located in L.A. Mr. Mark Roos is the creative director there. And his start in the music business, he actually created music for the Professional Rodeo Cowboy Association back in 1989. And his wife, Lorendi Roos, Miracle Activation Center, is going to be adding vocals. We have commissioned them, Sam. We're going to have intros, outros, music.
Oh,
Yeah. Bumps. You familiar with
oh.
bumps on a podcast?
Yeah, I'm familiar with bumps. I don't know about a podcast.
I
Bumps
don't
on the
know,
head,
too.
you know.
I don't know. And
Uh,
stings.
all
So
right.
yeah, like
What's a
midweek.
sting? Please
I
explain that.
uh, you know what?
You
We're
don't
gonna
know
learn it
either.
together. I
Okay,
don't know.
okay,
I
good.
don't know. I
I
just
did.
know they're pretty cool.
Okay, good, good.
So we're gonna be adding some music. Time to add a little class to this. And then we got to go to work on the website. I don't know if you've been on the beyondthechute.com website. My goodness. That ticker on the bottom is not the number of people that are following us. It's embarrassing. It's a very primitive website right now. We got to clean it up. And at some point, Sam, we are going to YouTube. We just have to. That's where all the action is, they're telling me.
Okay.
All right. So today, are you still riding for the brand?
Oh, always riding for the brand, Doug. Always.
All right, BTC, Beyond the Chutes.
Mhm.
So let's get into business. Enough of this monkey business. How is Dalen? What's he up to? We saw him on TV last night. Did a nice interview. What do you
I
know?
don't know anything. I know as much as you did. I did not call and bother him this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if he drove back to his house, it's about a 2 hour drive from Fort Worth. So, or if he stayed and maybe went out and had a cocktail or two, I didn't want to call him. Looked good.
He
Said he
did.
feels good. You know,
Good.
entered in some bull ridings up in Canada, some Canadian PBRs. So he's getting the itch. I think he really wants to go.
Oh, excellent. I'm excited. I'm excited. Be great to have him back in it so we can follow him, support him like we have so many years. Let's shift, Sam, to before we do this, I just realized we have Tyler Manor, Portland, Indiana cowboy, who's riding in the finals, and his grandparents are Joe and Amy McQuillan, rodeo stock contractors. One of the first rodeos I did in the state of Ohio was high school rodeo, and Joe and Amy McQuillan were the stock contractors. So, good folks. Excited to see this young man. He's like 18, I think. Started riding miniature bulls at 6 when Joe and Amy bought the miniature bulls for him. You know anything
Yeah,
about Tyler? Yeah.
I don't know much about him. Amy and Joe are good people. I seen Joe out in Texarkana Bull Sale in March. Maybe that was last year. I don't think I went this year. I'll see how time goes. But good people, and was surprised when they told me who it was. I knew that young man was going over to KBRCs and getting on bulls, and they had talked about how good he was, and how he had the desire and the try to win, and
Mm-hmm.
heard nothing but good stories about the young man.
Good. Well, we're gonna add him to our list of riders to watch tonight. So we'll be talking a little bit about him as we go through our matchups.
And
And last, go ahead, Sam.
when I figured out who it was, that was the boy that was going over there, and he
Mm-hmm.
had one of their bulls, and he was maybe going to be one of my predictions to win around because he would have known the bull, and it was a really good bull, but he didn't get out on the bull laid down in the box and messed up,
No.
and
Okay.
it's a shame, but that's life.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll watch him tonight. We'll cheer him on. Let's talk a little bit about the UTB championship leaderboard. Now, this is through last night, round 5. Yes, yes, yes. I've said it all the way through. Kaiki Pacheco still leads the PBR World Standings. However, Jose Vitor Leme closes in last night with a ride. He is now 40 points behind. I believe he came in 74 points behind. So he closed it with a ride. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Andrew Vidrez and Rafael Jose DeBitro, they both have moved up into the leaderboard standings. And I did a calculation, Sam. If I'm reading this right, and remember your World Finals average pays in points 560 points. If I'm looking at this properly, Cowboys all the way down into 13th place on their current rankings right now could win the championship if they were to win that finals. And no doubt if I'm going to win the finals, they're going to win the finals. They're going to get a bunch of round wins. They're going to get more round points for sure. What do you think of that? Top 13, if I did my math right, Sam.
And we've gone through 5 rounds now,
Yeah.
and they're still the top 13 has a legitimate shot to win.
Mm-hmm.
Not just outside chance, you do the math and all that, a legitimate shot because it's been wide open. And, like we talked yesterday, I said this will be the day that they step up, and they did. I think they rode 14 bulls last night and
Mm-hmm.
made some really good rides. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
the switch went off, okay, we got to do this. And
Yeah.
But it was a draft round where they could pick stuff that suit them a lot better than just a draw. But
Okay.
and they took
Okay.
advantage of it, so that's
They
all you
took
can do.
advantage.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And round 4 you ride 3 bulls. Last night you ride 13, and the only difference between those two, one of the big differences is you went in the locker room, you gave a motivational speech, you said, "Guys, let's have fun. Let's ride from the heart. Let's go out there and just get this done." Do you remember? You
yeah,
that was your
yeah.
speech.
I,
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
remember that.
I am impressed. So whether we actually got you in that locker room or not, we sent those vibes out into the world, and I think they had an effect.
It's nice to be listened to again.
I like that. I like that. And as you said, 14 rides in the round last night. We had a 91.5 point ride by Andrew Avidres. He is that moves him up into 10th place in the average, but he wins last night. And Brady Randolph has a nice ride at 89.25 points, placed him third in the round. He actually split second and third. He is currently, Sam, sitting second. Brady Randolph, Pennsylvania Cowboy, currently sitting second in the average.
And that surprises me, Doug. He's a good, tough kid and rides good and he'll grit it out. But
Mhm.
to be second right now, and God bless him, he's
Yeah.
got a legitimate shot to win $1 million, I think.
He's ridden 3 bulls, Sam. He's
Yep,
ridden 3 bulls.
yep.
And there's only 2 riders that have ridden 3. And of course, Wingston Henrique de Silva's in the lead in the average, 263.5 against Brady in second place with 262. He's a point off the lead in the average.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful? And you know why we're following him and making a big deal about him? Other than he's from Pennsylvania?
Why? Oh, because he's Clovis's nephew?
Well, there's Clovis Crane, sure. And who said you better be paying attention to this boy?
Oh, Little
Mark
Richie.
Richmond? Mark
Yeah,
Richmond?
Mark Richmond, the guru.
Yeah,
The
the
guru.
guru. I'm
Yeah,
telling you now. I'm
yep.
telling you. We'd have been, probably just now discovering who this is, and that would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good because
That wouldn't be good. Last night, last episode, we talked about the shoot clock, and I just got to bring this up. Last night, they put Kyler Oliver on the shoot clock. It times out. He's pointing at his knee. They allow him a restart. I was thinking all or nothing kind of a thing, snooze you lose kind of a thing. Sam, it can be negotiated, I guess, or can be challenged.
I was very surprised they let him do that. It it does open up a can of worms. Yeah, the bull jumped around in there, but you're supposed to, when they go put you on the shoot clock, you're supposed to already had a chance to nod and get out
Hmm.
on the bull.
Right, right.
I wasn't there. I'm not saying right, wrong, or otherwise, but I'm very surprised that they opened that up to say, oh, because that's what
Hmm.
everybody always says. Once you're on there, it's over. You're
Right,
done.
right,
And
right.
there was one I didn't even know Dalen was on the clock one time, and the bull kicked and rolled us right to his fingers in there, and kind of the same scenario. And
Hmm.
he said, I said, why'd you call for him like that? He said, I was on the clock. I was down to 5 seconds, and I didn't
Oh,
even know
wow.
it. I was at the
Oh,
event, and it didn't show
okay.
it on the screen, you know.
Right.
But in the same token, if he popped his knee out or the cartilage flipped up in there, and that's all, and this is my opinion, and for what it matters, I think if there is something like that, you should go hit the button and review it.
Hmm.
When they,
Okay.
for Salvano Alves a couple years ago, the the judge said, no, it's done.
Hmm.
It went to zero. And
Hmm.
it hadn't. It was like at 3 seconds when the judge said, take your rope off, you're done.
Right.
Because you
I
could see
see.
the clock. But
I
then
see.
the commissioner stepped in and there was a big hullabaloo, and he said he didn't do it. Well, so that's what that button's for. If you went to
Yeah,
push the button, you'd have seen and made the decision just like you did whether you made it on time or not. And
yeah.
I think that would be another way to use it. Whether they would think of using it for that, I don't know. But that I wish they had done it. Then they could have went back, and I think so, it would have showed Savano was right at that time, and the commissioner didn't have to get in there. And you hire the judges to do their job. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to tell them how to
Mm-hmm.
do their job.
Right.
So
I don't know. Slippery slope, as they say.
yeah, yeah.
All right, all right. Let's move on. So I've already talked a little bit about the leaderboard. You got 2 Cowboys rode 3 bulls. You got 7 Cowboys rode 2 bulls. Last night I asked how many bulls we need to ride to win the finals. You said 4. What's your thinking? Have you adjusted that at all?
No, I still think four will do it. I'll be surprised if five do. Not so much now, because three under their belt, and both those guys are really riding good. They sure could get five road, but I think four is going to be the number.
Okay, 4 is going to be the number. All right, very good. So let's go take a look at some of those guys we're following. And remind me when we get to Dalton Castle, I want to talk about safety equipment, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So let's do this a little bit different today. What I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna talk about Josh Frost. Norse God is the bull. I'll tell you what you said last night, and if you're right or wrong. In other
Okay.
words, does he ride? Does he get bucked off? And then tonight, what's your thinking on him for this matchup? So last night, Josh Frost, you said he rides. He rides. He gets so you got a win in your column there. He goes 86 points last night. Sam, talk a little bit about his ride. 5th round, kicks it in gear. Is he rolling now?
I think so. That bull was
Mm-hmm.
extremely hard to ride. He was just square, nothing smooth, nothing easy about him whatsoever. If you know bulls, some can buck a lot harder, but they're not always harder to ride. This bull was extremely hard to ride. He did everything really good. Stayed focused, stayed small, let the bull pack him around the corners. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was good. And I think today he rides again.
He
I think
rides
he,
again. Okay.
I think he's, back against the wall and winners come out swinging, and he did.
Perfect. 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 Let's hope he gets on a streak. That'll be fun.
Hmm.
Next Cowboy, Canadian Cowboy out of Calgary. Nick Titz is the Cowboy. Now, you said he'd buck off. He bucked off. Rode for 5.37 seconds. You got a win on that one. Anything from last night's ride you want to talk about before you move into knocking boots today?
That boy looked comfortable last night. Really tried.
Mm-hmm.
It was he is really grown from what I've seen him early on in the year. Really, really tried, and I was
Mm-hmm.
impressed. I thought he was going to ride that bull. I really did. And yeah, he tonight. I don't think he rides again. This
Don't
bull's
think
pretty
so.
tough.
He's tough. Okay. So far, there was in one of the earlier rounds at the finals here, 43.25 points that bull was scored. And this next one, I am so glad you were wrong. I am beyond glad that you were wrong. You said he bucks off Marcus Mast. 88.5 points last night, Sam.
Very impressive. I was so happy for this kid. Just happy for him. He made an outstanding ride, and something you usually don't see Marcus do. He just turned loose and went to whacking on him,
Oh,
and
nice
he was
spur. Yeah.
comfortable. And you never see Marcus spur one, but he
Right,
he he
right.
was happy, and you could just see it, almost see the smile come across his face when he turned loose and started spurring at him.
You
That's
bet.
just wonderful. Made an outstanding ride. Could have been a point more, I thought.
Okay, okay.
Might be
88 and a
biased.
half. Okay,
I
yeah,
might
yeah,
be
yeah.
biased.
Yep,
But
and
I,
you
I
have
am
set up.
if you spur them, and I know they get more points, but to spur them the way he did, that
Yeah,
you
he
know, the
opened
only
up.
thing in there was his hand, and
Yep,
he kept getting it. All right, go
yep.
on.
And
Sorry.
and no, no, staying right on that. You know, he's been a team standout for Kansas City Outlaws. Put him on the right bull, he produces. Right, his riding percentage went up. He became quite a leader there. Last night, the draft kind of proved that he knows what he likes. He rides what he likes. Um, so this bull today, the Undertaker, left hand bull delivery. Of course, Marcus rides left handed. So far, they've scored this bull 42 points. What's your thinking?
This bull's a tough one. He's a
Mm-hmm.
tough one,
Mm-hmm.
but Marcus made a way override last night, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll build on it.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. This Undertaker's tough.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. We're cheering
Hmm.
him on, right?
Yep.
Indiana Cowboy. You bet. So this next one was your matchup of the night. I just have to say that. You said he rides him. You said he rides him. 3.5 seconds. Derek Kobaba, break it down if you would, please.
Now the bull jumped out and turned back to the left, and Derek was right there, just in perfect spot. Everything was good. And normally the bull would go about seven, 6 or 7 before he turns back the other way. And he
Mm-hmm.
must have said, "This isn't working," and went
Mm-hmm.
the other way at 3 and
Oh,
bucked him off immediately. I thought
okay.
Derek would ride him because he'd ride him to the left, and then if he turned back at 6 or 7, he'd get by the
Mm-hmm.
reversal long enough to make the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, he's got a good one tonight. They scored this bull 43 and three-quarter points earlier in the rounds. Yunts, Brody's pet, right hand delivery. What do you think of this matchup?
Bucks him off.
Bucks him off. And if you were to ride him, if you were to get by him, if that is possible, what are you looking at for points?
88.
88. And I got a note here that said last night on your matchup ride, 92. Was he headed there?
Well, it was too soon to tell.
Ah,
He,
okay.
he really had such a good seat when he turned back to the left. It looked like it was going to be really good, but
Mm-hmm.
he would have had to spur him to get there. But he can. He can turn loose and spur one pretty good when he's very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And another one, I am so excited that you lost, right? I'm so excited. Ezekiel Mitchell, 87 and three quarters points, Sam.
Zeke did exactly what I said he's been doing wrong. He did it right last night. He didn't get ahead of the bull. He let the bull carry him through the turn back. He stayed square. He kept his chin down, his chest out. He did everything so good last night. So good. And that's all he's got to do. He's been getting ahead of them or letting them beat him around there. Either way, it hasn't been comfortable for him at all. But yesterday, he just looked like $1,000,000. That right there, square every jump was outstanding.
Okay. All
Good
right.
for him.
So what does it mean to get ahead of the bull?
Well, that bull turned back to the right last night, and he did not commit to the right spin. He let the bull pull him around there, especially when it's into your hand. Pull
Mm-hmm.
you around there and stay square in the middle of his back. If you lean or dive down in there too much, the bull will a lot of times just widen out and just let you fall down in there or go the other way and buck you off.
I see. I see.
So it's
And
all
and
about squareness.
well, and this was the advice you gave him, right? This was the advice you gave him. So how does he make that adjustment before he gets on the bull? Just saying, you know what? I can't get ahead. Does he say I can't get ahead? What does he say?
He just listened to me.
He did. But how do you make that adjustment, Sam? How do you put that into your ride?
You just do what you know how to do.
Okay. Okay.
And just it's so easy to say, but when you're pumped up and hyped up and ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
that was Dalen's biggest problem when he first started out,
Hmm.
in the PBR. He just wanted it so bad that he was getting off in there. But you just have to trust that you know what you're doing,
Okay.
and just let it happen.
Okay.
Focus on that spot in the shoulders, and reach for the front, and don't, just because you think you know what he's going to do, don't commit to it. Just ride where you're at.
Is that what
You know?
this is? Oh, I know he's going to go left. I know he's going to go right. So I make a commitment and I get ahead of him. Is that part of the formula?
I think that's probably 70% of it.
Okay.
They just did it. And the other is, oh, I'm late. I got to get over there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then it's too much,
Too much of a
you
move.
know.
Okay.
And that's the hardest thing to do in bull riding, is stop in the center.
Sure.
And Jose is amazing at it.
Okay.
And you watch him really make a big move, and then that free arm will drop to his shoulder height and stop.
Okay.
Holds him in the middle.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
it's very tough to stop halfway through when you're going.
You bet. You bet. And the momentum just keeps you moving then.
Right.
All right. So tonight Ezekiel's got sneaky situation. What's your prediction here?
This is really going to be good. Let's say he rides him.
Okay.
Let's say he rides him. I wanted to say bucks off so he'd ride him, but
Right. Right. So
I picked him to ride him every time, but buck off one, and it's been the opposite.
yeah.
But,
So maybe it's
uh-huh.
kind of like saying break a leg before you go do a play. Maybe we say he bucks off and then he proves you wrong yet again, Sam. Man,
Yeah.
no.
See, I told you so. I told you.
That's exactly right. So if he rides this bull, and the bull should go into his hand, it looks like. If he rides this bull, how many points?
86 and a half.
86 and a half. Okay. All right. Very good. Got that on my list. Eli Bassbinder, you said he bucks off. He did. 5.54 seconds last night. What'd you make of his ride? And, limping out. It just looks so incredibly sore. Go ahead, Sam.
I made of his ride grit.
Grit.
Golly, this kid's hurting. Did he try? He did. He just put the effort in, just so much.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got to pull for him. Somebody that's trying that hard and that much pain. It's, it was just grit. There wasn't nothing but grit. Let the adrenaline take over and forget about it for a while. But
Yeah.
I thought he was going to ride him. He was riding great.
Yep.
I think the body just wouldn't hold up to keep
Really?
doing what normally would have happened.
Okay.
And tonight it's not good for Eli. This Sky Harbor's very hard to ride, very
Okay.
hard to ride, and he's one that'll change it up. He'll do, and if you're still there on the third time, you might change it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Very intelligent. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not big on this bull because he's more like just get you on the ground type.
I see. Okay. All right. Winston Henrique da Silva, you said he rides. He did. He went 88 points. He placed 7th in the round, if my math is right. What'd you make of his ride? And then he's on Bandito Bug tonight.
I was really impressed with him, with his shoulder being out and everything he's doing. And the commentator said this last night, and after they said it, I thought, wow, they're probably right. He's sore, so he's not moving his free arm as much. He's keeping it close and steady, and it's helping his ride.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I'd like to say I thought of that, but I didn't. And,
right.
But it made sense to me when he said it.
Yeah,
So
I do remember you saying keep your riding arm low. I thought is what I heard you say because of the separation.
Right.
Or was it because that's how he's going to ride this bull?
No, it was because of the separation, because your shoulder will fall out if you get it very high in the air.
Oh,
it'll dislocate while you're riding.
Yeah.
And if they rip it behind you, it'll dislocate. So you want to keep it down low, just like when I said Jose brings that arm and then he drops it down. He
Mm-hmm.
stops in the middle of their back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's doing. Is he's keeping it low. He's not letting it get behind him, get his hips unsquare and twisting them around. Uh, it's working for him,
Okay.
and I'll do something a little different with this one. I say he rides this bull. He's got a lot at stake, maybe a world championship,
Okay.
and he's my pick of the night.
He's your
First
pick
time
of
I
the
didn't
night.
go back through. Yep,
Excellent.
I
Excellent. I
really
love it.
like this bull he has,
Yeah.
and yeah, I haven't got a pick of the night right yet.
I,
We'll
I,
see.
I'm with you. You know, you've been a fan of his all the way through. Yeah, so this will be good watching. All right, let's go to Tate Polmeyer. Again, 18 years of age. Last night you said he bucks off, and guess what? You lose. You're wrong. He goes 87 and a half points. Break that one down, Sam.
And what bull does he have tonight? I
He
looked
has
at it.
got Flying Wired.
Okay. Yeah, I was impressed last night. He did what I thought he would start to do at the beginning of this finals. You know,
Okay.
he came in riding really good and hot, and I thought he would take the momentum. He's a young kid that has nothing to lose and everything to gain. You know,
Mm-hmm.
nobody really seen him on the radar or expected him to do great things, but he was in the top 15 there, and I thought he would carry it right through, and it hasn't happened till last night. He made an outstanding ride.
Mm-hmm.
Did just what he always does, stayed square, and yeah, looked really good.
Okay. And ride? Don't ride? What's your? Yeah, yeah. And
I
it'll.
don't think he rides
Oh,
tonight.
and if you're on this, I'm a believer in tie goes to the runner. Okay. If you're on the fence, I say go with the cowboy. Are you on the fence? Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
kind of on the fence, and I went with the bull.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair
just
enough.
just on odds, I guess.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
just on odds.
Just on odds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to Daniel Keeping. You said he bucks off at 7.53 seconds. 7.53 seconds. We saw him win Indianapolis in January. The kid can ride. What's your thinking here?
The kid can ride really good, but at 6 last night, he quit riding and started hanging on.
Really?
In his mind, the whistle's going to blow.
I
I'm going to
see.
be here. And if you watch it,
Mm-hmm.
you can almost, I mean, you can really see it. He was
Okay.
riding real good, doing everything right, and then all of a sudden everything got stiff and tight. You know, it's like he just tried to clamp down,
Okay.
and I'll say he bucks off because I think he'll probably do the same thing. He could be sore, or it just could be a mental block where, oh, I'm here, I'm doing this instead of waiting. He was waiting on the whistle instead of riding through the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
He was waiting on it.
I see.
So you can't. You got to hear it blow before you quit riding.
Yeah. Can't stop moving, right? Can't stop
Yeah.
riding. Okay.
Even just shuffle them feet, push them somewhere, do something with them.
I see.
You know,
I see. Keeps them
that'll
moving.
keep you. Yeah, it'll keep you moving with the bull. As soon as you clamp down, you know, if there's a half a second left or something, a lot of times you can get that out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
when you start doing that half a second, then it becomes a second and then 2 seconds. And now you've developed a habit that is not good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on to Boudreaux Campbell. You said he rides. He bucks off in about 5.5 seconds. What'd you think of his ride?
He tried. Oh, golly, he tried last night. He wants it. He wanted it bad. That's the hardest I've seen him try in a long time. And really looked good was he just got bucked off. You can't say he did anything wrong. That bull just beat him up and
Mm-hmm.
bucked him off. So he doesn't match up good tonight with the bull he's got.
Yeah.
That being said, all
Yeah.
the try that he gave last night,
Yeah.
if he does that again, he's liable to ride. But I'll
Okay.
say he gets bucked off.
You're going to say it gets bucked off. Okay. And if you were to ride, what would you do? How many points? Now, let me
Uh,
back up and give you just a touch more information. So far at this
okay.
finals, they have marked this bull 45 and a quarter points. Hard candy.
Yeah. Well, if he rides him, he's going to have to do everything really good.
Mm-hmm.
91 and a half.
91 and a half if he rides. Fair enough. Fair enough. I know you. Yep. Fair enough. All right, let's go to Cooper Davis, 2016 world champion. You said he rides. He bucked off at 7.88 seconds, Sam.
And he tried last night too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, he put in the effort. I thought he had it. It wasn't for lack of try. What's he
Mm-hmm.
got today? I looked and I
Yeah,
forget what.
July. They've marked.
Oh,
Yeah. They've marked him 43 and a half points
yeah.
already at this finals, July.
This is a good bull.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good bull. And it doesn't fit Cooper,
Right.
but he needs to make a move. And I say he rides him.
He rides him.
Uh,
And 43 and a half points they marked this bull. What's your score if he rides him?
90.
90. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because this bull is going to be really good with Cooper.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay.
And Cooper's got to do something that he tried last night. And, yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay.
'Cause he needs to do something.
Okay. All right, let's go to Dalton Castle. You said he bucked off. He bucked off 4.7 seconds. 24-year-old cowboy. I gotta bring this up right now. You gotta talk to us about safety equipment, specifically helmets, Sam. Dalton Castle.
Thank God he had one on last night.
Mm-hmm.
He had another broke jaw.
Mm-hmm.
And even when that bull kicked him in the face
Mm-hmm.
or in the helmet,
Mm-hmm.
it unpinned the helmet. It popped the snap off the helmet. So if it hadn't have been there, he had caught him right square
Yeah.
somewhere in the side of the head.
Yeah.
So thank goodness.
Yeah.
And they have a rule in there now, and I don't know if there's any exemptions or what. But if you were born before a certain year,
Mm-hmm.
you have to wear a helmet,
Yeah.
and which is great.
Yeah.
These older guys that don't wear a helmet, and I understand it. It's for weight.
Mm-hmm.
The weight of that helmet
Mm-hmm.
can dysfunction your whole. That's extra ripping on your head and trying to get it over there. They're just not used to that.
Right.
Now they've grown up with them. Like Carrie said, you boys will wear a helmet every time you ride.
Mm-hmm.
Since they were riding sheep.
Okay. Okay.
Now they're comfortable with it. That's what they know.
That's what they know.
And
Okay.
and that's the way it should be. So they're great.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the best thing. The vest was good, but the helmet I think is the best thing they've done
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in bull riding. And I just Dalen having one on when he got stepped on his head, and last night. And I'll tell you a little story. We took Dalen to a bull ride in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and he got on the bull, and the bull stepped on his head,
Mm-hmm.
and it messed around. It did something, and they gave him a re-ride.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalen, he put the helmet back on. He said, "Something's not right. Something's not right."
Yeah.
And I took it and looked at it, and I couldn't really see anything, but I put it on my head.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "No, you're right. Something isn't right."
Yeah.
So I went and told the contractor we weren't getting on the re-ride.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't say anything, but he looked at me like, "You so fuck,"
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like, and this is my kid. I'm going to protect him.
Yeah.
We're not against riding, but we're going to take away anything anything you can take away that can cause trouble.
You bet.
And and that kind of bothered me,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew I did the right thing. And then the next day we kind of got messing with it and looked at it. Well, it was all snapped apart basically at the top. It was
Oh,
one part was flipped over another and all that. And I thought, thank goodness I made the right decision.
you bet.
Because Dalen, Dalen, he wanted to get on, but
Sure.
um, I said, no, we're going to make sure the equipment's good. And so helmets, they are a blessing.
Yep. Yep.
We still have our boy because of it.
You bet. You bet. No, that's perfect. Yeah, last year when he got stepped on, my goodness, thank goodness for the helmet. So what are you thinking about this matchup today with Dalton? He is on War Department. So far, they've marked this bull at the finals 43 3/4.
Doesn't fit Dalton. I mean, and to say a bull doesn't fit Dalton, it's just not one that's going to be in his wheelhouse and make it good for him because he can ride everything. His knee is tore up, I guess. I just heard that last night. Well, I knew he hurt himself, but I thought it was something else. And they said it was his knee last night. And to ride these caliber bulls, if you're not 100% stuff, so I say he bucks off.
He bucks off. Okay. Let's go to Jose Vitor Lemmy. 0 for 4 coming in last night. He gets it put together. You said he rides. He rides. 88.5 points. Places him 5th in the round. Moves him to 16th in the finals standings. What do you think of our two-time world champion, his ride last night, Sam?
When they show that above camera, and it doesn't look like much, it's just hard to see what's going on. I don't like it, but I guess other people do, and that's okay. I don't, it's just personal opinion. But and I thought, that was a good ride. Everything was okay. And when they showed it down ground level, that bull was hard to ride.
Okay.
He leaped forward and turned back from, he probably went 10 feet forward when he snapped around there. And he was hard to ride. And Jose handled it really good. And like I said before, the day before prediction, that his back's against the wall, winners come out to win. And that's what he did. He did what he had to do, and not on an easy bull.
Jose tonight has got Big Johnny Reb. Hasn't been out at the finals yet. What do you know about this bull? I know that let me say it this way. I know he's a left-hand delivery. Of course, we got Jose rides left-handed. What are you thinking?
I say he rides him.
Okay.
And I really don't know this bull. He's there, so he's going to be good. Really good. And I say he rides him. 89 points.
Got it.
And gets into the mix of things really good.
All right. You think he's on a roll? Time to go?
Yeah. Like my horse in the Kentucky Derby when it opened up, and I said, go, now's your shot, go, and he went backwards. Jose's not going to go backwards.
Okay.
Now is his time. If he doesn't ride tonight, it's probably over for him.
Yeah.
This is his.
Okay.
And every ride from here on out, he's got somebody's going to come up from the back and get 500 and some points, and he's got to go. And he knows that, and I don't know. I don't think he's dwelling on it. He was a different person when you showed him in the back of the chutes last night. He was a different person. Of course, he got to draft his bull, and he rode him before, and that always makes you feel better.
Right. And then, of course, you put your arm around him, had a conversation with him, gave him a little coaching advice, and the rest is history, Sam.
Yeah.
So speaking of history, Dinner Barbosa, you said, Dinner, go win, you're going to buy dinner. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You said he bucks off. You win. He bucks off in 6 seconds, right at 6 seconds. Break down his ride and tell us what you think tonight.
And it really surprised me with him last night. He had that bull rode,
Mm-hmm.
and he just looked off like, oh, this is too easy.
Mm-hmm.
And, it did not make sense to me. Did not make sense why he would do that. And what's he got tonight? I
He,
forgot.
yeah, he's got Sugar Smacks, or Sugar
Oh,
Smack, I
good,
should say. Good bull. They've already marked him
good bull.
44.5 points at the finals.
Yeah, good bull. And if he looked off last night, I don't think he rides tonight because last night, if he had rode, would have put him right in the
Mm-hmm.
right in there, really good. And
Okay.
uh, when I seen him do that, and when he looked off, he wasn't in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it took about another half a round till he got bucked off when he looked off.
Yep. Yep.
You know, just put his face over in the fight and mix it up.
Yeah.
So
So another term you use, we heard the commentators talk about it last night too. You just said he looked out. What does that mean? During the ride, he looked out.
you want to keep your focus right at those bull's shoulders, the top of his shoulders and his back.
Okay.
And because where those shoulders go, that bull's going.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to stay there. And a lot of times, if you do that, you might get, if you get bucked off there, if you click your heels or whatever, even if your face is there, a lot of times you'll get hung up or, fall off underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of dangerous because you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
ride.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get feeling uncomfortable and you take your head and look out,
Mm.
or don't put it into the fight, don't put it back.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying you look out so much. Sometimes you can see them turn their head and look out, but
Mm-hmm.
if you don't put it in the fight and just leave it hang there, you're gonna go. You go where you look,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
anybody in wrestling is very, where your hips go and your shoulders go is where you're looking, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that that's what happened to him last night. It just, and he had the bull road. I thought pretty,
Mm-hmm.
pretty good, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like what?
Right.
Oh,
So
so
just a lapse of focus.
I say lapse of focus. I'm sure that is a lot of it sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but not wanting to mix it up.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
throwing your body in there
I see.
to win.
I see. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
because the JRV is a good one. When Dalen and him last year were going for the championship, uh, I said JRV doesn't get hurt very often because if he gets in trouble and doesn't feel comfortable, he'll just look off and it'll pitch him out of the way and he won't get stepped on,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm. Oh,
And
okay. Okay. I see it. Okay. That
and
makes sense.
now, when he got and JRV got on cool with it, jerked him down and really busted him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, wow, he was really trying
Yeah.
to have, if that happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it there's a way out because usually if you look off, your hand comes out and they throw you a long ways away and you're
Okay.
clear.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah. Thank you for this. So the matchup, Sam. What are you thinking? Ride? Don't ride? Sugar smack.
Doesn't ride.
Doesn't ride. Okay. All right. Let's come back to our cowboy from Pennsylvania, hometown, Jonestown, Pennsylvania, 22 years of age, currently sitting number 2, has ridden 3 of 5 bulls. Last night, you said he rides. He did. He goes 89.25 points, places him 3rd in the round. Break that down, Sam. Pennsylvania Cowboy.
Yeah, he just tried his guts out, and he does that every time he gets on. His leg, he's got a bad leg. It was real bad.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
almost had to amputate it,
Yep. Yep.
and it's not near as strong as it should be. But his desire to do what he's wanted to do his whole life is still there, and he's putting it in it and really trying.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I looked at this pretty close because I wanted him to ride really,
Yeah, yeah,
really good.
yeah.
And I, I don't think he'll ride, but I'm going to say he does,
He does.
just because
Okay.
he's got the desire.
Yeah, for
And
sure. So what do you mark him? He makes this ride on Pegasus. We've already seen the bull be scored 43.5 points during the finals. What are you thinking?
87.5.
87.5. All right, very
Yeah.
good. This next young cowboy, you said we got to keep a eye out for him. He wins the Velocity Tour Finals a few weeks ago to advance to the UTB. You said he rides. He gets bucked off in 3.47 seconds. Joao Lucas Campos. What'd you make of his ride?
Yeah. I don't know what happened last night. It was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me see that again.
Mm-hmm.
What? Still
Mm-hmm.
don't know what happened. I don't know.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I don't know why he bucked off. It just like either, he just got out over him and it pulled him right down on his head right away, like he lost his feet or what. I don't know why things didn't come together for him last night.
Okay.
Um, but he's got nothing to lose. I say he rides tonight.
Right stuff. You like him to ride right stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Last cowboy we're going to talk about, we just added him. Portland, Indiana cowboy. Tyler Manor. And they said last night after the finals he needs to go back because he needs to graduate from high school. He needs to attend his graduation. Okay. 18 years of age. Rode for 4.9 seconds last night. And he's got razzmatazz tonight. What are you thinking?
Okay. Razzmatazz is a good rideable bull.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give him the benefit of the doubt.
You say he
It's
rides it.
hard. It's so young, and I don't really know him that well, because he just came on the scenes recently. His background with his family, now that I know that, he's already done a lot to prepare himself to get
Yeah.
where he's at.
So,
So,
so we say he rides him, okay? Well, I've got a short
mhm.
story, hopefully, about Amy McQuillan. I was announcing at the Ohio State Fair. This would have been probably 1998, maybe 1999, just getting started. And I get invited to go down and announce it, the Ohio High School rodeo event going on down there. And she gives me a day sheet, and one of the bulls' name was Make It Up. So I announced it, Make It Up. And she snorted. She thought that was the funniest thing ever. Uh, and I'm like, that's a good bull name. And she said, no, I wanted you to make up a name for that bull.
I guess it probably stuck, didn't it?
I think it may
I
have.
bet.
Ah,
I bet it
I'll
did.
bet
Make
it
it
did.
up.
Oh, gosh, she did.
Uh,
She laughed. She thought that was the funniest
uh,
thing ever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was some intention there to trick me. I'm not sure. So,
Uh,
yeah. Uh, all right. So, so shifting from there to here, let's talk a little bit about the Bulls. When is the next round that we might see riding solo legend? Is that the championship round on Sunday?
yes, that should be the top 12 guys of the event on Sunday, I would imagine. They had Legend out, I think, in a different round to begin with, but then they
Mhm.
put him back in the rank pen.
Okay.
So,
Super close
yeah.
there. You have predicted riding solo. Super, super close. So we need to go to your matchups. And you did okay. You did okay. All right.
Didn't
Let's
get all three, huh?
no, didn't get all
Yeah, yeah.
three. So you said Frost
Mhm.
versus Derek Kobaba. You picked Kobaba, which you had to because he was the matchup of the night. But you have
All
not.
right.
You have been a fan of Frost all the way through, so you lose that one. 86 points to a 3.5 seconds ride by Kobaba. Bassbinder versus Mitchell. You picked Mitchell. He rides for 87 and three quarters points. So you win that one, and then you win the last one, which is the Castle Davis matchup. and Davis goes 7.88 on the clock to 4.7 for Castle. So that gives you 2 wins, 1 loss for the day, and your running total now through 12 rides is 42%. You are 5 on the wins and 7 on the losses, Sam.
I got to make up for that. And I just want to
Yeah.
make a comment there. Just think if Davis would have rode another 0.2 of a second last night, what would be going on with this whole race?
Isn't that crazy? 0.2 of a
One-
second.
0.2 of a second would make all the difference in the world on this finals race.
You bet.
Okay, just wanted to say that.
Well, speaking of that, now we get to the one we've asked every single show so far. Who are you picking to win the championship? You've said Lemmy. Who are you picking to win the finals? You've said Lemmy. Everything is reshuffled. And then in the mix of all that is who to watch. You've liked Frost, Boudreaux Campbell. We like Davis. So who are you picking to win the championship, Sam?
I'm going to stay with what I said.
Stay with Jose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just because I said it at the start, you don't back up and regroup. But
okay.
Winston is looking really good. If he rides his bull tonight, he's going to have a big jump on everybody.
Yeah, that'll put him forward.
And he wasn't that far out of it. He was like coming into it. He was in the top 15, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then finals.
Okay.
Just looking at where everything is now, Sam. And does Jose probably wouldn't have to win the finals, possibly, depending on how he does, throughout these remaining rounds. Who wins the finals, Sam?
Well, I said Jose, but right now I think Winston probably does.
Okay.
But live by the sword, die by the sword, right?
I'm fine. Yeah. I like where you're headed there. All right, and then who to watch? Josh Frost made a ride last night. Boudreaux Campbell, etc. Who do you think still got the? And we've already got people made big moves in the points. So Winston, he's made big moves.
Yes. Him and probably Brady Randolph probably made big moves too.
My goodness, yeah. And I'll have to go back. Well, remind me next time we get together on the show. I'll go see where he came in on the points, so we can get an idea where they're moving. And then this other question, we haven't talked about this in a while. How much will the champion earn at this year's finals, including the $1 million? What do you had said $1.4 million will be the total take. More or less, what are you thinking?
A lot less.
Nobody
has dominated. Nobody has dominated.
So a lot less, is that 200,000 less? What is it?
It's very conceivable that we'll have a different world champion compared to the finals champion.
Right.
Could be very possible. So if that, I would say probably like 1.2 right now.
Okay.
We'll go that route, and after tomorrow or tonight, we'll know a whole lot more in that category, because if some of the guys that are in the top few don't do good and don't have a chance to win the average, that changes the whole aspect of stuff.
Okay. All right.
Because that takes $1 million out of the equation, or 300,000 out, or $1 million out, one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of money out there still, Sam. Lots of money.
Oh boy.
35,000 a round. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to our final question of the day. What's Colton up to? Where is he? Last we spoke, he was at Duval's up in Chute, Oklahoma at a jackpot steer wrestling. What else you know?
Well, I don't know anything else. I texted him this morning because I didn't want to call him if he's still up there bulldog, and I don't know if he's there or if he's done. So I just texted him and didn't hear anything back. You pick it or you make it up. That was Colton's job. One of his jobs at the rodeo was to go tell the announcers the name of the livestock and stuff. So when you said that, I thought, So it was just funny when you said that, and I thought of oh, we're going to talk about Colton. So I'll say, that was one of his jobs because,
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Yeah,
he loved doing that because
yeah,
he'd go up and tell them all the names and, you know,
yeah,
and give them stories on them where
yeah.
I was like, yeah, you go ahead. Hey,
You-
this would be a good job for Colton because he
yeah,
loves to talk about his bulls and horses and all that stuff. So,
absolutely.
but
Yeah.
I don't know how he did yesterday or how he ended up, if it even goes on today. But it was interesting tying it back to the New York Museum.
Yeah.
There was a family up here and the Martys,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a steer wrestler back when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and they moved to Arkansas when I was still in high school, probably.
Okay.
And it was through that New York Museum, his daughter put on there, this is my dad, and they're at Duval's.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought,
Yeah.
wow. And this was about 11 o'clock at night because the PBR was over till I looked at my phone again. And I said, oh, are they there now?
That's
Uh,
yeah. That's what I said. I really thought it was Colton that had posted the picture. And I
oh,
saw it
no,
too. Yeah.
it was this Jackie Marty. And
Okay.
I said, are
Okay.
they there now? And then when I got up this morning and I looked at the phone and he said, yeah, and they got to talk to Colton, and I don't think she was there, but I think Fred, the father, went and talked to Colton.
Yeah.
So he said it's a small world and must be another relative was going to the same college Colton went to, and it was just, you know, it was pretty neat.
That is
Pretty
neat.
neat that that New York Museum brought something like that together that, I haven't heard from these people in 30 plus years,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe,
Yeah. And
maybe
and you,
50 plus, definitely 50 plus years.
all right, Sam, anything else?
No, I think I am excited about tonight. I know I probably am not going to miss another PBR finals.
I
This is not where I should be. I should be down there,
Yep. Yep.
and I think I'll make sure that that happens because
Okay. Okay.
to leave 2 days before it started, how dumb was that?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
spend another week. But
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm just too cheap. Didn't want to go down
Well,
and spend a room.
yeah, I
But
know. But you got your pods, so we're getting ready.
yeah,
And
we'll be there chatting about it next year.
well, I think so, and we'll put you on a microphone. We'll be sitting in the same room just like we did a few weeks ago when you came to visit and we recorded a bunch of stories. Yet to come on that Back to the New York State Rodeo Museum Facebook page. We got stories, more stories to put up there. All right, Sam. Thank you. Be
Thank
good.
you, Doug.
Be safe. Have fun. Relax. Enjoy the round tonight.
Thank you. You have a great day.
All right. Goodbye, Sam.
Bye.
This is Beyond the Chutes, where we discuss New York Rodeo, the people, and the places they take us. Thank you for joining us as we wrapped up round 5 and head to round 6 this evening. We are on Spotify. Search for Beyond the Chutes and follow us. Reminder, check out the New York State Rodeo Museum Facebook group page and become a member. You can find all of our episodes up on beyondthechute.com. Until next time, thank you for listening. This is Doug Simcox.